Everybody, it's a great privilege and an honour to have Marcia as our guest. She's currently rehearsing the show and this is her day off. So she's come all the way from Sydney just for this afternoon and then back again for rehearsal tonight. I mean, it's amazing. Marcia, talking to you, I think, will be inspirational to our young artists and hearing about your experience and your advice. And as I say, Marcia will be taking questions from the audience, and I'm sure there'll be lots of things you'd like to ask her about. But let's start with, you were born in Boston.
I was, yes.
In the USA. And I believe that gospel choirs were a big influence on you early on when you were growing up.
Absolutely. Most black children who are brought up in America, that is your social environment, the church. And so when I was coming up, my godmother was the head choir person in her church. I used to church hop because we hear all the good music, you know. So I'd go to my church, was Churches of England, and then I'd go to the Baptist church, where my godmother was choir leader. And because children were not allowed in the choir box, by the way, because we fidgeted too much. And so because my godmother was blind, I was allowed to actually lead her into the box. And then I learned how not to fidget. And that's where I learned to sing. It was a wonderful thing. But it was a wonderful upbringing, you know, because like I said, it's a community thing of the church in America.
Yeah.
It's a wonderful community.
And what is it about gospel particularly?
Well, I think it comes from
Musically
slavery.
speaking.
Gospel music comes from slavery.
Right.
And that is a lot. My upbringing, I was born in Boston, but my parents are Jamaican. So I had both sort of cultures. I had the culture of African America and then the culture of my West Indian parents, which was a great mix. It was a great thing, a great cocktail to grow up.
Yeah, and hearing gospel music is kind of a combination of protest and aspiration, isn't it? So it's very idealistic about
Yes, it is.
going to heaven and all that, and also
Going to heaven
strong protest.
and remembering where you come from and remembering no matter how bad it gets, guys, it gets better. Just like your song, man, that was really cool. Very poignant,
Yeah, and also you had an aunt who was very supportive of you, is that correct?
Yeah.
In your singing career?
Yes. Look, my family are all political in Jamaica. My auntie, she was the Minister of Education in Jamaica, and my uncle was the Premier of Jamaica. And my cousin just died, his name was Colin Powell. So my family were really, anyway. They were really, it is what it is. But, and so when I entered the arts, it was like, why don't you get a real job? I'm sure you guys have heard that too, right? Yeah. But, and so the thing is, the proof is in the pudding. And, I was saying to John earlier, the scary thing about this industry is, as you know, I did the judging for Australian Idol, and I just slipped back into the judging again this year for the wild card. And I never say to the kids, I'm going to talk to you guys because that's who I need to talk to. I never say to the kids, oh, you're going to be a star, because that's not true. I don't know. If I knew what it took to be a star, I would model that bad boy and sell it. You know what I mean? But it takes tenacity, belief in yourself, sacrifice, and not listening to anybody else. You better just keep your eye on the prize. I came here at 16 years old, so I understand the 15-year-old I got, but she sang beautifully, by the way. You just gotta keep your eye on the prize. I was very blessed because I had good people around me too, John, as you know, that's important. So I had people that encouraged me along the way, like John Waters and Reg Livermore, and I had amazing people. And I was asked to do gigs, and I didn't know if I could do them. And the best thing you can do if you get asked to do a gig that you don't know if you can do it, say, yeah, and then find somebody who can teach it to you. Yeah? That's what I did all along the way. Yeah.
Right. But you won a scholarship to the Boston Academy of Music.
I did. for opera.
How old were you when you got that scholarship?
14. Well, 14, you know, like you gotta remember, I was coming up during the hippie revolution.
Yeah.
It was Jimi Hendrix and Janis Joplin and all these great singers. And here I am singing opera at the New England Conservatory of Music. I'm thinking, I don't think so. And luckily my mother, I mean, she forgave me when I was about 24, when I started to have, you know, some success. And that's another thing, you gotta know what it is, who it is you are. Because people will hear your voice or see your talent, and they'll try and shape you. You gotta believe what it is you believe you are, all the while, guys, okay? That's just my little bit of advice.
Yeah. But apart from your personal choice, what is the vast difference between singing the sort of music that you are singing and singing opera? What defines the difference?
Oh, opera is straight. I'm not straight. I'm a hippie. I'm an old hippie, you know. So, but mind you, I was with someone on the weekend who was a coloratura, and that's the highest notes that you sing, you know, in opera, as you know. And I just sit there and I'm totally amazed that that instrument can make those noises. Yeah, it's just, I think I still love, my partner and I go and see opera whenever we can, and it's just a great sounding thing. I love opera, but my thing, and I had to work that out, was, you know, singing what it is I sing, which is relatively contemporary or theater or, you know, yeah.
Because it's more personal, it's about you and about your experience, is that why?
Because it fits better.
Yeah.
It's better, yeah.
Right, okay. What was the experience like being in the Boston Academy? Did you feel sort of repressed by it or contained by it? Why did you decide to leave? Or had you heard the other music and wanted to make a change?
Oh yeah, before I started, you know, I was going to boarding school, and the lady who I was being boarded with, her children, one of her daughters was a very talented pianist, and so of course she and I would sing, and that's how I got my scholarship, which was very kind of this lady. And I was already into the madness of the hippie movement, and I was already still into my gospel music, so it felt true.
Yeah.
That's who Marcia is. That's, yeah.
Was there sort of a neat fit with the gospel music under the movement? Was there a kind of emotional correlation there or something?
Yeah, I mean, look, you know, I grew up during a very tumultuous time in America, guys. You know, like I remember my mother picking up, you know, you remember incredible things. I remember my mother picking me up from school in her house coat, which was like, what? You know, my mother was a well-dressed, well-spoken woman. She had a house coat on. And my brother and I ran outside and said, hey, what's going on? And all the parents were there, and the teachers were acting weird. We said, what happened? And her actual words were, they've shot the president. Let's go home and see if he lives. Wow. So those sort of things really cut through as a kid, you know, like, and then there was his brother, then there was Martin Luther King, there was Nixon who didn't die, and then, you know. and so during all that time, you know, I grew up in Boston, and all these kids were going to the Vietnam War and not coming home. So I just decided that when I got the opportunity to do the musical show called Hair, we all felt as if we were really making a difference right away. You know, like when you do a musical of that stature, we all really felt we were going to make a difference. And I really do hope that we did to the people who came to see it.
You did.
Experience it. I hope so.
Yeah. So you came to Australia to do Hair when you were 16.
Yes.
Now, how was that possible? Did you come with somebody? Were you accompanied, or
no.
You came on your own?
No. Well, what it was, you know, like you put what you need to put into your children from here to, you know, up. And you hope that what you instill in them flies, if you get my drift. And I had a very good mother who said, this is an opportunity of a lifetime, Marcia. Do you want to do hair? And all my friends, Donna Summer, who I grew up with, she had already left. And her sister, who was my best friend, Linda, was doing hair in Boston. And she said, oh, you know, come and do the show. I went, no, don't want to be stuck in Boston. I don't know why I didn't want to be, but I just didn't want to be. And then lo and behold, the auditions for hair came up. And I did them, and about maybe 12 days later, I was on a plane to Austria. So sorry, that's my seat. Knew nothing about Australia. Nothing. But I mean, I soon learned, but yeah.
That's pretty amazing. At 16, you got into hair. I mean, were you the youngest person in the company?
Yeah, I was the youngest person to ever do it. Yeah.
And how did that happen? How did you suddenly score that? Had you done musical theatre training?
No, but during the summers we'd have camps like maybe you guys had, where there's musical camps, and I'd sing around town a little bit and do things like that to get your stage presence. But also singing in church gives you a type of a stage presence as well. So,
sure.
and I remember all my friends were behind the curtain. My girlfriend Linda and her friends behind the curtain, sticking their tongues out so I'd blow the audition. You know? And Jim Sharman and Sandra McKenzie auditioned me, and lo and behold, I got the part.
They auditioned you in America?
In Boston.
Wow.
Yeah.
But I mean, I still say 16 is very, very young. Did they want someone that young, or you just happened to be the best person available at the time? What was it?
It's funny you say this, because one of the guys dropped the Shakespearean word in up here.
Oh, he's dead. He's dead.
Well, I had a really good friend who used to do lots of auditions. Professional actors, that's all they did. Audition. My friend was a Shakespearean actor. He was actually a Shakespearean actor, and they said, "You are great."